This is me in preparation mode for the following shenanigans. This is where I'd probably cut in my intro video, which I don't have yet. Maybe one day I will. But and then at the end of the intro video, I'd swap the camera around like this. Oh shit. And then be like, okay, time to get off my butt and actually do something. So, what are we going to do today? Let's swap you back around. For starters, actually, we can do this live right here. Check this out. Shout out to my buddy Henry. Once again, he has kicked some serious apron card ass. Like I said in the previous video, we did a little trade action LEDs for some apron cards. And yeah, you can go just print off your own apron cards if you have a color printer, which I do not. You also want the nice glossy paper, the thick paper. And guess what? There was no design that Henry found, or maybe he did find something and didn't like it or whatever, but he custom made these from scratch. Look at these bad boys. Boom. So I don't know if Henry wants me to promote his awesome apron card action, but maybe if you want to not bother with all the trouble of doing it yourself. And he cuts them, and they're the right size. So he does everything. So it's just, it's awesome. I've done tons of apron cards on my own, but I like the Henry method. Oh, Jamie just woke up. Wonder how her and the new kitty are doing. They were sleeping on the couch together, which was very cute. Okay, look at this. Get in there. I'm trying not to bend the corners. I'm being very particular. Come on. Oh, you. Oh, look at that. Perfect. Flawless fit. Oh, instructions go on the left, silly. Okay, let's do this. Now that we got the technique down, the one-handed technique. Oh, like that is flawless. These are 5.5 inch by 3 1/4, I believe. If you just need to know that for whatever reason. Yeah, look at that. Boom. Thank you, Henry. They're awesome. And then these can just go in here. And so that is that. Then I got a box in the mail today. Check this out. This is from AliExpress, so I think it came from China. Pinball straw, 42 watt, white X3. Pinball straw? What's a straw? Guess what a straw is? It's a lightning bolt. My AC/DC LED lightning bolts have arrived. Anthony Stiebel was the one who mentioned these to me. So shout out, because my order was number 38. Pinball straw. Maybe that's why I had such a hard time trying to find these darn things. It's weird. But yeah, they're like, I think I said $28 shipped all in. Now, these are probably not going to be as good of quality as the ones that you can buy from the other mod companies that are like 100 or 200 or 300 or whatever they are. I think I've seen Measle Mods is up to like generation 3 or 4 on these. So I'm going to install these, and they're going to probably burn my little eyeballs out. But that's okay. One of the issues I had, well, aside from one of my lightning bolts was actually broken. If you look here, well, you can see there's a light bulb behind each lightning bolt. Well, I noticed very late in the game that there's a little bit of plastic missing the edge of that blue plastic there, and the old lamp socket was attached to it and is nowhere to be found. So this resolves that issue. Now I don't need the light bulb behind the lightning bolt, because the lightning bolt is the light and it's going to be super bright I'm actually pretty excited to install them. I thought that I wouldn't be because of the brightness factor on my eyeballs, but oh well, sometimes you need a little flash. So I'll install those and then we'll check them out. I'll be right back. Alright, so this really is super easy. One screw removes your old lightning bolt, and you take the new lightning bolt, you feed it down the hole, and then you learn that this gap between the two legs is too small, so it doesn't fit. So you remove bracket, harness I mean, but since it's got a J connector, a Y connector, you have to now pull it out, force it out from the bottom. So actually, you know what I could do is just bust out the Dremel and Dremel it over the edge so I don't get any crust. Let's see, I don't know if I can do this one-handed or why I'd want to, but here, this is the bit that should do the trick. Now I really should just throw you up on my tripod, but it's not that exciting. I'm gonna Dremel that gap a little bit wider, rinse and repeat probably for the other two, and then we'll see how it looks. Okay, so I had to Dremel the legs so that the gap between them was wider, and I had to Dremel the depth of that gap too, right there, and I had to Dremel the opening for the screw just so that everything would line up. So there was a little bit of Dremeling involved, but finally that all lines up perfectly now. Okay, are you going to just rest there on your own? No? Of course you're not going to. I'm going to try and be stubborn and put this together. Oh, my belly is holding my camera. Figure that one out. Okay, now the screw actually fits through. It did not fit through before. And not only did it not fit, it did not line up to the old hole. Why do I have like 3 tripods and I'm using my belly as a camera holding device? Does that make any sense? Okay, look at this. I pulled it off though. Boom. Now we're locked and loaded. Ooh, that looks kind of fun, doesn't it? Quite the improvement. Just even with it off, it looks way better. Slightly bigger too. Okay, so just gonna do me a little Dremeling, and then I will turn it on and see what it looks like. And then we'll play Thunderstruck mode right away. Alright, this is the leftovers. So initially, here, actually, I had one broken lightning bolt, and Z-Pin Man hooked me up with a new one. So then I was good to go. Actually, if you look really closely, you can almost see that this one's just a slight bit brighter. So that might have been the Z-Pin Man one. Okay, so, but then I realized I was missing one of the 3 lights that go behind the lightning bolts. So then I sprung for the LED ones, which means that I can remove these guys because they're completely redundant to have light bulbs behind light bulbs that you can't even see, and there's no chance you would even be able to with the brightness of the LED bolts. So I removed these 2. So now this is what the finished product looks like. Boom! I think it actually looks awesome even with them off. They probably look better off because once they start lighting up they might be a little bright. But now there's no need for any light bulbs behind them. like so. All right. So I just had to, like I said, I had to Dremel the brackets a little bit to get them to fit, and then to remove the old lamps, little brackets. It was a little bit of a pain in the butt. I had to get my wrench under there because there's a nut underneath, screw on top. Did that for both. And over there now, that is missing the lamp bracket. Doesn't matter because it is now completely, utterly redundant. But that looks friggin' cool. So I did give it a little test because I had to make sure that things were working before I completely removed all the old lamps and installed everything. And so I did see them in action. But that was in Thunderstruck mode. Well, I guess we have to go with Thunderstruck, don't we? There it is, Thunderstruck. Alright. Let's grab the ball, and we'll hit the lit one. I'll try and get all three in the frame here. That's actually not that bad in terms of brightness. It is pretty bright actually, but that's freaking cool actually. Pretty stoked about it. Yeah, that's a sweet little mod for $28 shipped from AliExpress. Thanks again, Steve, for that tip. You know, we'll see how long they last, but they could last 100 games or 10,000, you never know. So either way, that's pretty sweet. You know what we should do just for fun? One last little test is when I hit the one, all three of them flash in Thunderstruck mode. I'm kind of curious if in a different mode, one would flash at a time rather than all three. Hey, let's go back in black. Oops, I just hit another player instead of launch, but that's okay. Now, let's see what happens. See how they behave. Oh, cool. Oh, that is actually friggin' awesome. Oh, and then when you hit the third one, they all light. Oh, look at that. It's kind of like a fade effect with the lightning striking sound effect in the background. That is actually really awesome. You really completely lose that effect when you're playing with light bulbs behind solid targets, plastics, metal, whatever. You know what I mean? You don't get that effect. You can't see much behind this thing. It's metal on one side, plastic on the other. So I am completely actually stoked about that mod. So if this is just the cheap Chinese one, I wonder what the second, third, and fourth generation ones look like at the other mod companies, but that is friggin' awesome. I actually really like that. Okay, so that is mission accomplished. Now, before I forget, I want to give a shout out to Mark's Basement Arcade. Got a couple things I want to show you. One here, I got all my crap on my chair, so get that out of the way. Oh, I'm dropping lightning bolts. I'll sit on good old wood hardy, and that'll be nice and comfortable. Okay, so this is Mark. He's got his own Mark's Basement Arcade YouTube channel. He also does live streaming on Twitch under MGC, Midwest Gaming Classic. I actually got to research and find out exactly where that is. I used to know, but now I forget. Because I'd like to go to one of those shows. A for pinball, B for tournament, C to meet Mark and have a beer with the dude because he is awesome. So
You like Pinball Shenanigans? I love Pinball Shenanigans. I told him a while ago, I'm like, you really need to change your name to Pinball Shenanigans. We had a whole discussion about it. I said, because all the weird stuff you do and the way you do your videos, they're just like a bunch of pinball shenanigans you do. And he thought about it and ended up changing his name. So, and he ended up getting like another 300 subscribers in the past like 3 months. But yeah, he puts out videos almost daily, But yeah, he's a cool dude. Pinball Wizard.
Yeah, so that's Mark giving me a shout out, much appreciated. Nice freeze screen there. So yeah, thanks for the shout out, Mark. Re-shouting you back out. I got a little sneak preview, not a preview, just I got something. Mark is in the middle of working on a parody Pinball Shenanigans video, and he sent me a sort of a rough draft last night. And Jamie and I watched it. This is like probably midnight, and Jamie had our neighbor over. We were having a couple drinks, and actually both our neighbors from both sides were over, actually, come to think of it. And we watched it around midnight, had a couple drinks in us, and we were laughing our asses off. Jamie was literally crying. So this is a parody video of Pinball Shenanigans that Mark is doing, and that'll be coming up in the near future, so stay tuned. No one's going to appreciate it more than myself and laugh at it harder than myself, but I found it amazing and amusing, and Jamie's like, who's this guy? I want to meet him. He's awesome. Let's go. Where does he live? So that is coming soon, a Pinball Shenanigans parody video by Mark at Mark's Basement Arcade. I'll definitely be letting you know when that happens, because it is friggin' hilarious. Mark, you're awesome. And yeah, the shenanigans ensue eternally.